Story 1. Hi. In August, I received a Facebook message from a woman who said in 2018 her husband and my wife had an affair. They meet once a month for 6 months and fooled around in his car, and the last time they meet they had sex. He then broke it off. He came clean to her and she thought I should know. I spoke to this woman and there is no reason for her husband to lie. When I confronted my wife, she said they did have lunch twice and were old friends, but everything else was a lie. She said I shouldn't speak to them because they were crazy and to leave it alone. She never went back to the woman asking why she was doing this if it was fake. I actually didn't press this affair much more because while I was investigating, I found out about more recent ones that took precedent. I could see from phone records that from April 2020 till February 2021 she was calling another guy regularly. She said he was a friend from home and when her father was sick, he was there for him. Her father passed away in October 2020. I don't have any proof of them meeting up, but talking a lot. The talking ended for a bit when he got a girlfriend, but picked up a few months later and I think possibly continues to this day. Didn't push on this one much either. Because in April of this year, she started talking to another guy. Calling on average 5 times a day. Talking at night when she went to bed before I did and calling him all day while in the car and while at work. He is a bartender at her favorite restaurant that she would go out to once a week after work. She said they were just friends and his mother passed away a few years ago, so he was there for her when she said I wasn't. I told her she needed to end this relationship and she said she would. She logged into my computer during COVID and I was able to see her search history. She looked up his bay and then, if their astrological signs were a match, her searching for hotels near her work and for hotels by the hour. I confronted her and she had 2 excuses. She needed alone time to grieve for her father and then someone at work was discussing an affair, so they were looking up this info. So, her story changed. I decided to put a GPS on her car and track her. One day I put a voice recorder in her car to test it as we would be in the car. Later that day I had to run our daughter to ball and she was going shopping. While there I noticed the car parked in a parking lot down the street from the store she was supposed to be at. I couldn't get there in time, but the recorder picked up a 9-minute call to this guy. She got a burner phone and talked to him about meeting up. She mentioned not seeing him was bad for them. She was going to kiss him the next day on his bay if they were only together for 5 minutes and couldn't be together, and then also said I might go to the restaurant and stare at the SXY bartender and cum my pants. They then meet for 16 minutes in his car. That night while drinking, not smart, I found the burner phone and confronted her. She said they were just friends and just had a phone relationship and what I heard was out of context. If I knew their friendship, I would know it was a joke. I told her I didn't believe these crazy lies and we would be done. She said she would stop talking to him and wanted to work on us. She has never heard the recording, just a few things I reminded her, she said. After this I was able to see a few strange stops that would show me that she was meeting him. And was able to see a Facebook message from him on her watch 3 weeks after the burner phone day. Since early September I haven't seen or heard anything. I have confronted her that she needs to come clean, but she says she won't admit to something that didn't happen and turns it around on me. I decided not to blow up our family because her bae was in October and her father's 1-year anniversary was also. Then came Thanksgiving and now Christmas. We haven't discussed it or fought about it since Halloween. I can't live this way any longer, and after the new year I need to confront her. We have been getting along the last 6 weeks and actually going out to dinner and being intimate, but she still hasn't admitted to anything. I actually feel bad that I am going to drop this on her. I feel like I have let it linger too long and I will be looked at as the bad person. I realized that is crazy because of everything she did. I just wanted to tell my story and get advice. I don't think I can get past this and honestly not sure if I want to. She should have to feel some pain here and not think she got away with it. Have you been through similar? Advice? Recommendations? Thank you everyone for your replies. I am okay with the tough love. I know I need to leave, but I assume other people have struggled with it like I am. I did consult an attorney and have had counseling. I didn't find it that useful. I have stayed this long because I wanted to give my kids one last holiday as a family. That may not have been the right thing to do, but it was the decision I made. And when I say confront her again, it will be more of a "I am leaving because you can't be honest" conversation. I agree I don't need her to tell me anything as I have enough info. Someone asked why would she go out every week? Everyone's life is different, but she would go out with work friends once a week. And I would do the same. I played in a cornhole league for a while. I know what I need to do, I just need to find the strength to do it. Hi everyone, thanks for the messages and support. It means so much. Christmas was good. It was nice to be there with the kids knowing it may be the last one as a family. But it was definitely hard playing the happy husband role. Especially when we were talking about what we were going to do next year for Christmas, knowing it wouldn't be the same. I know you all have been through this before and everyone is different, but am I being childish when I think I don't want her to get away with it? I don't want to work it out because it isn't fair that she was able to have multiple new relationships and then have her family too. If she admits the truth and we work it out, she won't lose anything. Sure, she lost a boyfriend, but she was able to keep her life and most likely her reputation. One of the biggest reasons I want to leave is so that everyone can see who she is and what she has done. And then she can feel some real pain and know that she has destroyed lives. It might be selfish of me to want to do this and juvenile, but I don't think I can live with myself if I don't make her feel some pain. 'Cause all I feel is pain every day, and I think she thinks she got a free pass. Thank you for what to say, it definitely a great starting point, and I am going to tailor it to my situation and pretty much use it. When you say steps if things don't go my way in confrontation, what do you mean? I assume things won't go my way and she will just deny and I leave. Comment: it might be selfish of me to want to do this and juvenile, but I don't think I can live with myself if I don't make her feel some pain. 'Cause all I feel is pain every day, and I think she thinks she got a free pass. This feeling you have is not selfish. Virtually all BS have gone through this feeling thinking. The thing is, their scales that were tipped by infidelity will not really balance out again. You can get close to the level it used to be, but it will always be a little bit off, as the initial weight of the A diminishes over time, but never seems to disappear. A tiny grain will always remain. If you want to exact revenge retribution, then prepare 2 graves, as you can lose yourself in the process. You can lose who you are, what you are. You will have to learn to adapt to a new way of thinking, and not one of balancing things, but adapting coping. If you want to do something, it would be to gather evidence and informing the OBS. They deserve to know. Original poster: if you want to exact revenge retribution, then prepare 2 graves, as you can lose yourself in the process. You can lose who you are, what you are. I don't want to extract revenge per se, but I want her to feel some pain. I was reading an article and posts in another forum, and they recommended letting one of our family and friends know what she is doing. This would force her to end the relationship, which I still think it going on. I am not sure I feel comfortable with that, as I think it will trigger her to go nuclear. Not that I know what she can do, but if she is capable of multiple affairs, she could make my life hell in a divorce. A few other things I have learned over the holidays: people need to be careful with recording devices. In my state, it is against the law to record someone without their consent. She knows I recorded her, and that may come back to bite me if she wants it to. I plan to share the recording, or at least a transcript, but I now don't plan on doing that. It was worth it to get the proof I needed, but just hope legally I won't have issues. I have a GPS on her car, and it was able to track some suspicious activity the first month I installed it. The last suspicious location I saw was her parking on a side street for 10 minutes that was way out of the way between 2 locations she was going to. At first, I thought it was to meet with current guy. The previous guy I know she was talking to is a police officer in the town she grew up in. This stop was a mile from the police station. My thoughts are she meet her PO and had him search it and found the GPS. She never told me, but her knowing this would mean she could make sure she didn't take her car anywhere suspicious, or maybe even remove it when she was at work and leave it there and then meet him and put it back on when she got back. And over the last few months since this, she has made it a point to tell me exactly where she is going. I thought that was a good step, but she wasn't doing that up till that point. She may tell me she was going to store A and she would go there, but might have stopped somewhere for 15 minutes in between and never told me that. She was also using Facebook Messenger as her main way to message him. As I said, I thought it was probably over, but a few things happened recently that made me think maybe it wasn't. For some reason, when she is on Facebook, it doesn't say active, but it does say active when in Messenger. I was able to test this on her phone. With that being the case, I have seen her go active at times when I am not around. Right when I leave the house, when she gets in her car, etc. I was able to look at her phone the other day, and using the screen time that I don't think she is aware of, see that on New Year's Eve she was on Messenger for 21 minutes and had 24 notifications from the app. But her last message from friends on there was the previous Sunday. So, the messages that went with those notifications had been deleted. The only reason to delete messages is because you don't want them seen. I realize I don't need more proof. I can leave when I want. But it would make it a whole lot easier to leave to have proof she was still talking to him. This isn't a smoking gun, but where there is smoke there is fire. I know it sounds like I am weak for not confronting or leaving, and I would say that I am. I just need to find the courage to do what I need to do. And am having trouble finding that. Comment, respectfully, your fears and concerns are something we have seen before here on SI. Why do you need to prove to anyone that your wife is cheating? The countries and states where infidelity plays any major in infidelity are few and far between. Why would you need to have a recording or a transcription of a recording? How do you think your wife can use the fact that you recorded her in any negative legal way for you if you yourself have never used that recording or transcription of the recording in any way? It's enough that you believe she's cheating. That's all that's needed. You need to be convinced. It's not as if you need to convince her that she's cheating. The 10-minute stop a mile from the police station and her the police officers searching her car. No. That's fantasy. Didn't happen. She stopped, maybe to do her makeup, maybe to make a call. That's it. Don't fall into the trap of seeing infidelity in everything. The issue isn't necessarily that she might be still talking to him. The issue is that you have good reason to suspect she cheated and she won't come clean. Follow my script. If she insists nothing's going on, you get to see her social media and she takes a poly where you confirm she's telling the truth. Original poster, thanks for the info. I know it is probably irrelevant, and I bet a lot of people who go through this see infidelity where it may not be. But the two stores she was going to were 4 miles apart on the same road. She went 4 miles out of the way to stop for 10 minutes, then back to the other store. No calls were made at that stop. Could she have been fixing her hair? Sure, but the route she took didn't make sense. Again, I realized I don't need any more proof, but it was not normal. And then after that, she never did anything suspicious in her car again. As for the recording, I did speak to a divorce attorney, and she said don't bring it up again and do not talk about it. It can't be used in any way, and technically you broke the law, but recording a conversation between two people that didn't give you permission. I agree not to expose everything to everyone. I want her to come clean because she wants to and not because I am forcing her to. If I did that, I agree it would be her ending more to save face than it would because she wants to work on the marriage. I will check out the divorce and separation forum. Thanks. I really do appreciate everyone's support and your stories and recommendations. I read through some of your stories and see how everyone worked through it. I realize that I am in a holding pattern, and until I make a decision to confront again and use the information everyone has provided to either work on a separation or reconciliation. And I realize that in my current state, reconciliation isn't an option if she won't be honest about her history and her affairs. I just keep posting, as you all know, talking about it and working things out is beneficial. Everyone on here has been through similar situations, and learning everyone's mistakes and how they got through it is hugely beneficial. I know what I need to do. I just need to grow a set and do it. I keep delaying it, and that is me being weak and not rushing into something that could end 20 years of a life I built. That being said, I need to do something, as where I am today just isn't sustainable. Again, I appreciate everyone's support. Hoping 2022 will be my year. Yeah, I know the detective work I keep doing isn't helpful for me at all. Emotionally or physically. It consumes too much of my time. And as you say, she just took it underground. I know I don't need more info. But for some reason I just want more proof, even if it doesn't make a difference in the end game. It's just not healthy. I actually feel a little bad that I have been stringing her along the last 2 months and acting normal, and then will drop all of this on her. I shouldn't feel bad, as this is her fault. This isn't my fault. But I still do. I should have never let it get this far. Story 2 original poster, she told me a couple nights ago. Still wrapping my brain around this. I feel extremely adrift and unable to know what to think or feel. Feeling numb, mostly with moments of fear for how heavily this might hit me. At times it feels like maybe I dreamt it and it isn't real. It just feels too awful to be possible. I think my brain is coping right now by playing it down, but once in a while I get a glimpse of how really serious it all is. Just wanted to reach out and say something to anybody. Right now, I've only talked to my best friend about it. I don't plan on telling anyone else, but I need someone to talk to who I trust. We've been together 9 years, so all our friends are each other's friends. There's no one I could really talk to who doesn't also have a relationship with my wife. And suddenly not having her as a support system makes me feel surprisingly alone for the first time in a long time. No kids. She confessed because she has also been coming to terms with her alcoholism and has been wanting to clear the air on some of the things she did while affected by it, including other, smaller things like sneaking drinks or lying to me about her drinking. The affair was a one-time thing, I'm told, and I believe her. Thanks. I am trying extremely hard to remain calm and not say anything I can't take back. I've told her I don't want her to talk to the AP anymore, that I want her to get tested for STDs, but I haven't made any promises about staying or leaving. She volunteered to spend some time at her mom's place an hour away for a while, so I took her up on that while I sort out my feelings. She seems extremely contrite and is constantly saying she will do anything I need. She has cried way more than I have since confessing. It's clear that she really knows she screwed up. What's funny is that my instinct to protect her feelings kicks in and I want to console her, but then remember she did this to herself and she needs to figure out how to live with it on her own. It was premeditated, I'll say that. This friend had been propositioning her for months and she finally gave in. She drove to their place sober. It wasn't a loss of inhibition after a couple bottles of wine. Her best friend has known about this for a while, but presumably didn't tell me because she thought it was my wife's duty to do that. I'm not sure, but she has reached out to me with words of support and consolation. At first, I was touched by that, but now I don't know how to feel. Thanks. I could talk to my family about it, but there's time for that if I feel like I need more support. Right now, I have my best friend and we're looking into getting a counselor. If it's something we overcome and would rather it be kept private, I don't want to broadcast it to the world just yet. She's been sobered for 2 months now and seems to be taking it very seriously. Thanks everybody. You were all correct, it was worse than I thought and the lies are continuing. I'm bailing.